Hello, my name is Rok and I recently came back from Istanbul where I spent 5 wonderful days with my wife. In this video, I would like to share with you my thoughts and my experience that might help you if you decide to visit this incredible city. First, I'm gonna tell you what to expect from Istanbul. Second, I'm gonna focus on the best room location for exploring the city. Then I'm gonna talk about the transport system and how to get around. Next, I will cover money and conversion rates. And at the end, I will give you some tips and ideas that might help you if you decide to visit Istanbul. Istanbul is incredibly rich in culture and history because of its unique strategic position between Europe and Asia. It lies on the historic Silk Road, an ancient network of trade routes that connected the East and West. Istanbul has turbulent and rich history, as can be seen from the fact that this city changed its name 3 times. When it was established around 660 BC by Greeks, it was known as Byzantium. After 900 years, Roman Emperor Constantine the Great made the city the new eastern capital of the Roman Empire, and the city remained imperial capital for the next 16 centuries. In honor of Constantine the Great, the city changed its name into Constantinople. And after 1000 years, when the Ottomans took over in 1453, name was changed to Istanbul, but the Western world adopted its last name only at the beginning of 20th century. The city's biggest attraction is its historic city center, listed as UNESCO World Heritage Site, along with its cultural and entertainment hub across the Golden Horn. After 600 years, the Ottoman Empire collapsed and Istanbul lost its status of capital city. In 1923, Turkish Republic was declared, with Ankara as its capital, in order to distance the new secular republic from its Ottoman history. But Istanbul remains to be economic center and the biggest city in Turkey with more than 15 million people. It is considered to be the biggest city in Europe, and the Bosporus Strait that splits the city to European and Asian part is one of the busiest waterways in the world. In 2016, military forces attempted to overthrow an existing government and its current president Erdogan, but failed to do so. This attempt had a big negative impact on tourism, but the country was stabilized and now everything is returning to its normal course. Overall, Turkey has its problem with different groups, and as a result, terrorist attacks can occur. In Istanbul, there is a strong presence of security forces, especially in the major tourist areas. The last terrorist attack in Istanbul that was targeting tourists happened in 2016. But during our visit, we never felt any danger or had any other security problems, and everything looked to be very much normal. Crime rate is considered to be very low for a big city, and we found most of the people to be very friendly and very helpful. Istanbul is huge. But when it comes to pay a tourist visit, there are 2 major areas where you should look for your room. First area is in the historic city center known as the Fatih district, or more specific, the Sultan Ahmet area. This area is on a peninsula that used to be the old city of Constantinople. This means it gets very popular and crowded because almost all the important sightseeing places like Hagia Sophia, Blue Mosque, Topkapi Palace, Basilica Cistern and Grand Bazaar are within the walking distance. If you don't have much time and you want to cover all the major sites, this area is your best choice. You will also get a good night's sleep here, since the nightlife isn't very exciting. The second area is known as Taksim, or New Istanbul. It's known also as Galata and Beyoğlu area. This area lies on the other side of the old harbor, opposite to the historical Fatih district. This is more lively area, full of street food places, local shops, and it has famous nightlife. It offers more budget-friendly accommodations and also has more stylish and trendy places. This area is famous for Istiklal Street, which is considered to be the heart of Istanbul. There is also a Galata Tower and the Taksim Square. If you have time for exploring and you want to be close to nightlife, this area will be a better choice. I will cover pricing of accommodation more in depth in a separate video titled How Expensive is Istanbul? But in general, prices of accommodation were reduced substantially after 2016 events, and now they are slowly recovering. If you're in a good physical shape, you can cover a big portion of main Istanbul sites on foot. Most of them are in Sultan Ahmet area within the walking distance. But at some point, you will probably have to use some sort of transportation. A lot of people still take taxis, but this is often not the best choice since the traffic in the tourist areas can get very busy. Public transport comprises of buses, metros, trams, ferry boats and funiculars, and it's very easy to use. All means of transport are modern and clean, and vehicles are in a good shape. Istanbul has an integrated electronic ticket system for all of its public transport. That means that the same ticket can be used for all means of transport, and the price for one ride is the same regardless of what type of public transport is used. Tickets can be bought on machines on every station. The only problem is that the language selection is often not working, but the use of a system is pretty straightforward and people are glad to help. Before entering a station, you have to scan your ticket in order to get in, and that's it. Most lines operate between 6 AM and midnight. So in general, the public transport system is easy to use, it's good, it's reliable, and it's constantly improving. In Istanbul, you will have no problems paying with debit or credit cards for almost any service. But sooner or later, you will probably need some cash, and in general, they do not accept foreign currencies. A local currency is called Turkish lira. It's easy to get it from ATM, or you can exchange your money in one of the money changers or exchange offices. Up to 2014, Turkish lira was relatively stable currency, but in recent years, it's losing its value rapidly. In 2016, for $1, you got 3 Turkish liras. In 2019, for $1, you already got 6 Turkish liras. So before returning home, maybe it's a good idea to check all your pockets and get rid of all these Turkish liras. First tip is about visiting the most popular sites. In the high season, yes, of course, they will get crowded. But before entering any site in Istanbul, you will have to go through a security check that is sort of similar to the airport security control, with the difference that you can get your bottle of water in without a problem. There is even a security check before getting to the Grand Bazaar. Most of the sites don't offer online tickets, so buying tickets on spot is your only option. The best is to be patient and prepared for some waiting time. In some places, like Topkapi Palace, they offer special skip-the-line tickets that costs a little bit more. It is also a good idea to check for opening times. For example, Topkapi Palace is closed on Tuesdays and the Grand Bazaar is closed on Sundays. Second tip is about shopping for souvenirs. The best place for souvenirs is without a doubt the Grand Bazaar. This is probably the best souvenir shopping on the planet. This place is huge. It has over 4,000 shops. But when buying here, you should do some sort of bargaining. I know it can be a little bit different of what you're used to, but you should try it. Try to bundle things together to get a better deal. And don't expect to get a receipt for your purchase. My third tip is to use public ferries to ride over the Bosphorus Strait and the Golden Horn instead of the tourist cruises. Ferries are part of the public transport and can be used with the same ticket for the same price as any other means of public transport. They are cheap, reliable, and they run frequently. There are many different lines, so you can get to almost every part of the Bosphorus or the Golden Horn. And my last tip is about using mobile phones. This one is for people who are using their EU mobile plans. It's easy to forget that Istanbul is not part of the EU, and using a mobile phone can be super expensive. For one single megabyte, you can pay around 12 euros. Don't ask me how I know that, but it hurts. If you like this video, give us thumbs up. If you have your own experience, your own recommendations, or your own tips and tricks about Istanbul, please leave it in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe. This way you will help us create more videos like this one. Thanks for watching and see you next time.